You know, all of the time, I see this slander on YouTube, this Pale King Hollowness propaganda that the Weavers are the real villains behind Silksong, but I don't think these people understand the plight of we Weavers, how we're actually the good guys, how we saved Farloom. And so, ladies and gentlemen, ignore all these videos saying that we're the bad guys. Today I'm gonna walk you through how, what happened, give you our side of the story, and it's gonna be totally accurate. I'm not gonna lie to you, I promise. It's gonna be an accurate retelling, because I was there, trust me. I was there for the fall of Farloom. I was there, well, I wouldn't say fall. Farloom never fell. That's propaganda spread by, Team Cherry. No, today I'm gonna tell you what happened, and, yeah, you're gonna follow with me on my story, okay? Alright, so once upon a time, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, see, we weren't always built the way we are. The pure bug build, the build of 2026 that people will be coming out in their winter arcs will be the Weaver build. And you see, the thing is, we weren't always such, Giga Chads, or, well, mostly, what is the woman version of a Giga Chad? I never actually thought of that till now, because most of us are women. Don't ask why I'm a guy. The point is, listen, Weavers weren't always weaving the way they weave. You understand? And once upon a time, we were these things called Farlids. Now, the thing is about Farlids is they're from Farloom, you fucking dumbass. Of course they're from Farloom. Where else would they be from? And once upon a time, these little fuckers that we were once, apparently, you see a little bit of silk fell from the sky, and we were like, oh, shit. I gotta get in on that. It's kind of like the SpongeBob scene. And, well, needless to say, we became Weavers. See, there was this thing called Grandmother Silk. She's a cunt. We'll find that out later. Grandmother Silk is a higher being, and she evolved many of us into Weavers. See, all the Farlids into the Weavers. And they taught us how to turn our soul into silk, which is a completely rare supernatural ability. And, yeah. That's what she did. She taught us how to do that. But we were fooled. Because we were told we were divine and shit, but nah, dog. That's a lie. See, out here, you can't trust it. That's what the big Citadel wants you to think. See, the truth is, none of us actually knew we were Farlids for like I didn't even know we were Farlids for a really long time, and when we found out, well, needless to say, that's how all this story began. But still, basically, we were slaves. So, yeah. I guess we can come up with our own slurs now. Silkbacks, Six Eyes, Silkskins, Silkers. That's a good one. Silkers. I'm gonna write that down. Still, see, the thing is, we worked for basically forever. I remember when I worked, and I was a little shit. I didn't mean to be. But I was a little shit, and actually it became a good thing because everyone became a little shit eventually. See, we all thought we were children of the Grandmother Silk, and of course we worshipped her, because why the fuck not? And we became very powerful. We could weave silk, we could craft rooms, we could operate looms, establish a religion about song, worship, and pilgrimage, and everything we can think of. But we were deceived, ladies and gentlemen, for you see, Grandmother Silk is one of the worst gaslighters on the planet. See, she'll lie to you and, like, try her best to, like, make sure you don't find out. But the thing is, she's senile as fuck. That's where the grandmother comes from, you see. Because she has every form of, I don't know, dyslexia, the fucking delusions. What is it called? When you forget everything? She's senile is basically what I'm saying. And eventually we found out because, well, she didn't hide it good enough, I guess. And that's where shit started hitting the fan. That's where our story gets the bulk of it, you know what I mean? So, what happened? Well, that's a great question, because we have to look at the rise of our great kingdom first. Okay, so basically because we were considered so divine, we had this higher status sort of thing. We had a higher, like, on the hierarchy, we were pretty up there. And, you know, even before the whole rebellion thing, we were really considered like one of the goats of the kingdom, you know what I mean? Grandmother Silk really, even though we were slaves, she did treat us well. You can't say that our workers' rights were any less than a Walmart employee nowadays. And you see, we established a theocratic kingdom of Farloom, you know, a system of pilgrimage, worship, and the hierarchy of the weavers, with the choir of pilgrims and the citadel atop where the mother was contained, yada yada yada. Basically, we took a land that was mostly infested by I'm pretty sure Khan had some kind of gay inside him, and I know for a fact the fucking two princes, well, that shouldn't take any basically it was a war zone, and it was ruled by a bunch of twinks. And you see, the thing is, we decided, you know what, you can do better for yourself. So we took over, and we established a religion, and, well, it was a slow takeover. We didn't use force until after the rebellion, but it was a good thing, you see. It was a good thing. Praise the... what's the thing these kids say these days? Praise the Omnissiah? Yeah, like that. Trust me, we're not the bad guys. See, we built vast structures, many of which were like weave nests, burial spires. We researched into the void, hidden chambers. Hell, we even made fucking silk magic. Can you believe that shit? The shamans thought they had the shit. No. See, we were the original Slim Shady of magic. You understand? We fucking knew that shit. We knew that shit like the back of our many, many hands. Well, not even hands. I guess they're like talons. They're kind of like spikes. I'm not really sure, but still. And basically, we had it pretty good until the first sinner. Well, we're gonna call her Chlamydia in this video. See, Chlamydia here, she discovered a horrible, horrible truth. You see, while we were expanding and building and creating and, you know, crusading essentially, she found out something horrible which got her locked away, and, you know, that pissed everybody off because we couldn't really do shit about it. But still, she committed the first sin, which was finding out we were evolved from Farlids. You know, this is a really good example of modern day where people just don't believe that evolution's real. It's kind of like that, you know what I mean? And that's where all this really started, because after this, I mean, what else do you do? Okay, so basically, we need to rebel immediately. Like, we need to revolt, like, right now. Why the fuck would our employer lie to us about this sort of shit? Don't they care about us? No. No, she did not. And so the best thing we did was, the first thing we did, we found a bunch of common bugs and we told them to commit an act of terrorism in our name. This is totally important, and we cannot guarantee the safety of those bugs, but their sacrifice was well noted, and they had their whole divine retribution, etc., etc. We gave them the little the machine that's underneath the underworks, you know, that sort of thing. So that way, a weaver can atone them of their sins without us actually being there. It's like we built it, so it's kind of divine, that sort of thing. And well, it went to shit. See, we had to blow up part of the citadel because we wanted to make a distraction. You know, to make it where the great grandmother decided, you know, actually, maybe it's not the Weavers who were plotting against me, and it was just that one. So, what did we do? Well, the only good thing. While that distraction was going on, we decided to we wanted to make a ceremony for her, to calm her down, to show our loyalty. We wanted to gather in a room, and we wanted to sing for her, you know, that kind of thing. You know, it is our grandmother, after all. And that's what we did. We all of us except for the first sinner, gathered in that room, and, well, we sung. But she was deceived for once, because we had a genius plan. You see, spiders make their silk from their inside, and, you know, soul is on the inside. So while we were singing, she was so distracted, we decided the only way we could bind her and be free of her influence after she lied to us is to piss on her at the same time. And so that's what we did. We pissed on the grandmother until she was no more. We pissed all the day and all the night. It was a sight to behold. No wonder they're religious to us. I had a bit more aim, you see, because, I don't know, I'm a guy, but still. We pissed on the grandmother silk, and we were free, kinda. See, we had the means of plotting a rebellion and actually securing the kingdom for ourselves and establishing a democracy sort of thing, you know. More like a republic caste system. Actually, more like a caste system. Because, you know, we were still above everybody. And we told them we were above everybody, because why the fuck wouldn't we? And we started building. We made these little things, they're kind of like vehicles. So they're like a ball, right? And they have treads that go all around them. They're like a giant wheel, and you would drive them around the kingdom from weave nest to weave nest to deliver shit. And as great as those were for the rebellion, we had a problem with this one woman named Widow. She liked to drink and drive and run over the Pale Stags in Verdonia, and that wasn't exactly friendly with the people there, so we decided, you know what, just because these people don't like what we're doing, we're just gonna invite them with force into our kingdom. You know what I mean? So that's what we did. We built these giant things called choruses by turning the souls of the people we found into silk and then putting them in machines so they could live forever. It's a good thing. Immortality is a good thing. They're machines now, but they can feel pain. Can they feel anything else? Well, we're not sure. Why don't you go find out? You want to fuck the second sentinel? Go be my guest. But still. We wanted to make it where everyone could share in our weaving glory while we plotted the death of a god. You know, normal shit. Normal average day in the Hollow Knight universe. And, well, that went great. Because, you see, I don't think bugs really know what to do when you put a tank outside their door and you just blow it the fuck away. That Coral Kingdom to the right beneath Mount Fae, yeah, we blocked that river. So what? That entire kingdom is now a desert and everyone's dying. And actually the entire coral forest is more than likely completely obliterated. Who fucking cares? Who cares? It's just a few bugs. Aside from the acts of terrorism we committed in Verdonia because Widow wouldn't stop drinking and driving, driving in my car right after a beer type shit. And, well, she was a problem in of herself. We basically took over pretty fucking quickly. And, see, the thing is about common bugs is that they're fucking stupid. So we could, convince them. We had masks made for them. I guess we brought them in with force, that sort of thing. We did our best, and all the while we were trying to figure out the best way to keep the grandmother sealed or just straight up fucking murder her. And we came up with this trap thing, but I think the engineers are like the stupidest people in this whole story. Because we had architects, we had all these guys, but still, these engineers have to be the dumbest fuckers on the planet because they built a trap that we all signed off on. We funded this shit with all the rosaries we could find. And you know what happened? They built it. They built it all right, but they didn't know how it fucking worked. How do you build something and not know how it works? That's like building a PC and then asking it to make your toast. Why? Why would you do that? And that's the problem. See, even though we realized that the grandmother's control was absolute and oppressive, despite, the perceived supremacy and all that shit, well, yeah, we had to seal her away in a cradle and try to figure out the trap. We just kind of left the trap there with some of the weave nests, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna fuck off. So as we progressed, right, we decided, you know what? If we can't trap her and we can't kill her, we're just gonna make everyone else do our job for us, and we're gonna leave. See, we all split off into different groups. I think one of them went with Hera. I really didn't go with Hera because I thought Hera was kind of weird. But still, she wanted to go to this place called Hallownest and all that kind of shit. But I didn't like the white guy who rolled the place, so we decided to go to Texas. Yeah, we drove to Texas. It was nice. I don't know where everybody else went. We kind of just all went. We scattered because this fucker was gonna hunt us down no matter what. So we're fine. I'm sure the people in Hallownest is fine too. They're building great structures and not dealing with another crazy god and a horrible, horrible incident. And, I'm sure the daughters of the Weavers over there are just absolutely fine and not struggling at all. I hope none of them ever come to Farloom. That'd suck. But still. See, that's what happened. We left Widow behind because she kept drinking and driving and, kind of ruining things. She had a major gambling problem and she spent all of Weaveness. Camarilla? What the fuck was that one in the mountain called? I never went there. I lived in the Abyss, so who the fuck knows? But still, she kept spending all of its funding, so the Abyss and the Alta and all the other ones, we had to take money from the EVA program and fund her fucking gambling addiction, so we just left her. Of course we did. We broke her mask too, because why the fuck not? We don't like her. And yeah. So that's what happened. We did our best, but it could have been better. And we're the good guys, so believe me, I was there. Thanks for watching.